Hello everyone, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you every single new mini-boss in the Crimson Isle update, where the mini-boss is, and how to defeat it. There will be timestamps in the description and in the pinned comment if you want to skip to a specific boss. And if you enjoy content like this and want to see more in the future, then be sure to like and subscribe, as it helps me out a lot, and I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Thanks, and enjoy the video. Now, starting off with arguably the easiest boss out of all of these here, we have Bladesoul. Bladesoul is a wither skeleton, and he has about 70 million health. He only has 2 attacks. One of them is to shoot a wither skull at you, which deals a small amount of damage, and the other is to shoot out a ring of wither skulls after charging it up for a second, and that will one-tap you. So what you want to do is just to keep moving around, hit Bladesoul, and then when he starts to charge up, be sure to jump in the air or use your aspect of the end to teleport up in the air to avoid the attack. And once you kill him, it drops a wither skull, which you can use to craft a couple things. All of those are pretty terrible. Next up is the Mage Outlaw. Now the Mage Outlaw has a few attacks, the first of them being a attack where the Mage Outlaw will rise up into the air and aim lightning at wherever you and anybody else nearby is standing. When the Mage Outlaw is in the air, it will have a shield that will reflect all damage dealt to it back onto you. So if you try to attack it during that time, you might accidentally kill yourself. Another attack that the Mage Outlaw can do while rising up is to create a sphere of red particles that will explode and instantly kill anybody who is in that sphere. And lastly, the Mage Outlaw will also summon a couple of wither skulls to float around it and protect it from a little bit of damage, but they can be instantly killed. One side note is that the Outlaw attacks where it strikes lightning and uses the sphere attack, those can both be blocked with the Wither Cloak sword. And then once the Mage Outlaw is dead, it drops some glowstone dust and some magic powder. The magic powder can be used to craft magic items such as staffs, but it's not really that useful, so I wouldn't really recommend grinding Mage Outlaws. The next boss up on our list is the Barbarian Duke X. The Barbarian Duke X has 70 million health and can be found between the Kudra Skull and the Barbarian City. Now the Barbarian Duke has 2 main attacks. One of them is he will launch himself into the air, and you can see where he will land by a circle of purple particles on the ground. When he lands, and if you are in that radius, you will be stunned for a few seconds and he will deal about half of your health. The Barbarian Duke can also jump multiple times, so just be careful and be sure to teleport away if you're in the purple circle. The Barbarian Duke's other attack is a flaming fist, where if you're nearby, he will punch you and it will set you on fire and deal a small amount of damage per second, but it will last for a good amount of time, so you need to be careful for that attack. Additionally, there are a bunch of flame particles around the arena where you fight the Barbarian Duke, and you are unable to attack the Barbarian Duke from outside that circle to prevent anyone from being able to cheese the boss in any way. When the Barbarian Duke dies, it drops an item called Leather Cloth, which can be used to craft the Gauntlet of Contagion, which is a really powerful gauntlet that deals explosion damage when you kill a monster, so I definitely recommend grinding out the Barbarian Duke. Next up, we have the Magma Boss. Now, the Magma Boss isn't necessarily the most difficult out there, but it takes a lot of players to defeat quickly, so I'm definitely putting it up there as one of the more difficult bosses to defeat. Now, nobody really knows how much health the Magma Boss actually has, but it's general consensus that it has around 500 million health. Now, the Magma Boss actually has several phases. The first phase is where it has to soak up a lot of damage that you deal. Now, during that phase, it'll be jumping around like the Barbarian Duke, dealing a lot of damage to anybody that lands where the Magma Boss slams down. It will also be shooting fireballs, which, once they land, deal massive area of effect damage to anything that the fireballs touch. Additionally, when the fireballs land, they explode into a bunch of fire that stays on the ground for a decent amount of time. Once the Magma Boss's damage absorbed bar has gone completely yellow, it will jump back into the middle and explode into a bunch of smaller magma cubes. There are 2 types of magma cubes, the magma glares and the unstable magma cubes. The magma glares will shoot fireballs at you and the more glares there are, the more damage they deal, so be sure to kill them as quickly as you can. The unstable magma cubes will try to jump towards you, and when they get close, they will try to explode on you. Once the majority of the magma glares and the unstable magma cubes have been defeated, they will jump back into the center and the magma boss will respawn, and every time the magma boss respawns, it will deal an extra 20% damage. Once the magma boss has split and respawned 5 times, it will attempt to flee the area, jumping around and shooting fireballs at anybody. At this stage, the magma boss will only have 10 million health, and it will get smaller as its health goes down. Once you defeat the boss, you get some rekindled ember fragments, and you also have a chance to get a Kudra key from defeating the magma boss. Now for the final boss of this video, we have Ashfang. Ashfang is definitely the most difficult boss out of any on the Crimson Isles, despite only having 50 million health. Ashfang can be found near the Kudra skull, on the area called the Ruins of Ashfang. Ashfang has a shield surrounding it, which prevents any incoming damage. That means bow, magic, so no Hyperion, no melee damage, nothing. However, it also spawns 3 types of blazes: Ashfang Underlings, Ashfang Acolytes, and Ashfang Followers. Ashfang Underlings have 10 million health, and they can only be damaged with non-melee attacks. So that means arrows, magic damage, any of that. But you can't hit them with swords. When they die, they drop a little missile that when you punch, it will fly in the direction that you punch it towards. So if you punch it towards Ashfang, it will deal 2 million damage to him, and that is the way that you're able to kill him. There are also Ashfang Acolytes that also have 10 million health, and they can only be damaged with melee attacks, so no arrows, no magic, but swords are good. When they die, they create a gravity well that you need to push the Ashfang Followers into. Ashfang Followers also have 10 million health, but they can only be damaged by gravity, or the gravity wells that are created after an Ashfang Acolyte dies. When the Ashfang Followers die, they also create a missile that you can punch towards the Ashfang boss. After dealing enough damage to Ashfang, he will die, and you can get enchanted blaze rods, Kudra keys, and even hot Kudra keys from Ashfang. Hot Kudra keys are used to unlock chests after you defeat the hot tier of the Kudra boss. You also get a piece of lumino fiber, which is used to craft the Fire Veil wand, which is certainly an interesting item. I'm not really sure what place it has in the meta right now, but it'll be interesting to see what's next for it. And with that being said, that is going to do it for the Crimson Isle boss guide. This is definitely my longest video by far, and this took me a lot of time to make, so I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe, as it would help me out a lot, and I'm definitely going to be making more videos like this in the future, so be sure to stay tuned. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I just can't appreciate you enough. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.